morning. I'm Kelly McSherry of Creating Artists for Tomorrow. Welcome to my home. We're doing this video on Paris Mountain instead of the studio. We are going to show you how to paint with bubbles and take it up a notch. This is a great project for the older kids. So we're going to end up with something kind of like this, but we're going to add to this towards the end. So this is not the final product. So the first thing you need, the materials that you're going to need some acrylic paint. If you do not have acrylic paint, watercolor paint will work, and also food coloring will work. It's not what we would recommend, but it will still work and you can still have a bunch of fun with it. So you'll need acrylic paint or food coloring. You'll need some dish soap. I've got just clear dish soap, which works the best. If you don't have clear dish soap, that's fine too. Just use what you have. You'll also need some water. We've got a pitcher of water here. And believe it or not, you're gonna need a little bit of sugar. And then you'll need some containers to put your bubbles in. I would recommend just kind of finding a bunch of jars that you can store them in, or some like Rubbermaid containers that you have lids for. And a measuring cup. And I think and straws. You'll definitely need straws. So first what you need to do is make the bubble solution. Now this bubble solution can be, we're going to use it obviously for our art project, but you can also use it to blow bubbles. So if you go, in springtime, you can blow bubbles outside with the wands. This is what you would use to do that, and you could use food coloring to add color to that if you wanted to. So to do that, what you're going to need, and I'm going to use this jar to just do one batch, is you're going to need a cup of water. So we're going to take a cup of water here. And you're going to pour that in your container. Then you're going to need about between a quarter cup and a half a cup of dishwashing detergent. I tend to go a little heavier. Every dishwashing detergent is different, so you might have to tweak it a little bit towards the end. Well, I'll show you how to do that. So I'm actually using about almost half a cup of dishwashing detergent. Get that in there, okay? And then you're gonna need about 2 teaspoons of sugar. And the sugar is important because it actually increases the surface tension of the soap so that the bubbles don't pop as quickly, and they will stand longer. All right, and then you're gonna mix that together, and that is your bubble solution. And this is what you can use to blow bubbles with the wands. All right, so now we're gonna give this some color. And again, this isn't exact science. You're gonna choose your paint, and every paint is different. Let's see, I'm gonna make some pink, just to show you, because I love pink. So I'm gonna do probably about a quarter cup of this paint. About that much. I'm gonna put that in there. All right, and then stir that up pretty well. It's good to make this ahead of time so that the bubbles can settle down before you actually do the painting project. If you don't have time to let them settle down, it's not a big deal. Once you pour this into another container, those bubbles kind of disappear anyway. All right, get that nice and mixed up. And then I'm gonna pour it into another container, and I can almost tell that that's not gonna be strong enough. I might add more paint to that in a minute, but let's get down to the project. If you start printing the bubbles and you don't think the color is strong enough, just add more paint to your solution. Just tweak it. All right, so now we've got all these colors already made, and we have put them in a variety of containers because we kind of like the different shapes that they're gonna make. So we've got a rectangular shape here, a circle, kind of an oval oblong shape. I even had a bowl that was a hexagon. I thought that would be kind of cool. Here's a square, and here's another circle. So you're going to, let's start with this pink right here. you're gonna get a straw and have your water ready, because then that's a good thing to rinse your straws in, because you don't need to use a separate straw every time. So kind of stir it up to get the paint all incorporated in the solution. And then you're basically just gonna blow bubbles. Please don't suck it in. It's not gonna taste good. It's not gonna kill you, but it's not gonna taste good. All right, once you've got the bubbles blown, whoop, now see those bubbles did not stay for some reason. All right, and capture it as quickly as you can. All right, and so you can see how we have captured that print there. All right, so I'm gonna rinse my straw in there, and I'm gonna go in here, stir up this blue. Oh, that's a good one right there. All right, we like to overlap, so it's a good thing to kind of overlap them on each other. You can mix colors that way. Good way to kind of teach that yellow and blue make green, or blue and red will make kind of a purple color. And you also create other shapes. So what you're gonna do is just kind of go through all your colors and fill up that whole piece of paper. Try not to have any white showing. I do want to show you this watercolor. We've used the bubble mixture, and we just put food coloring in it. I want to show you what it looks like. It's not going to be as vibrant as what we just did with the acrylic paint, but it's kind of cool. You get a lot of bubbles. And let's put that on here. Okay. So it's more watercolor, it's more subtle, but this would still be a fun project to do with the young children, just to kind of show, do some color theory, mix some yellow, mix some red, mix some blue, and then print overlapping, and then you'll show that yellow and blue make green, and that yellow and red make orange, and blue and red make purple. So that's really fun for the kids. All right, so fast forward, let's pretend that we have already filled up our paper. And this is where we can step it up a notch, especially for the older kids. I actually filled this paper up last night, and my daughter and her boyfriend had some fun looking at all the bubbles and seeing if they could find different kind of shapes or pictures, or here they found this. If you look here, they kind of found the bubbles, they outlined the bubbles, and it looks like a turtle, and they did a good job. I'm gonna just do it in dark so that you can see it a little bit more. So you can see how they outlined this bubble area, and there were these two bubbles here that looked like the feet, and here's another area right here that looks kind of like feet, and then the head. So they did a good job of looking, and then they found these little areas. Kind of looks like the turtle is swimming in the ocean. Here they found this, they turned into a grape leaf here. Eric, and if you know Eric from summer camp, he's one of our counselors at camp, he's awesome. He decided that these bubbles looked like a baseball being caught in a baseball mitt. I thought that was very cool. Audra found these bubbles together that kind of reminded her of a dogwood bloom, especially with Easter just passing. Here she found another kind of froggish, is that a frog? Mm-hmm. Idea right here. Here's kind of like a worm. And then I thought, when I was looking at it, I saw this kind of what we call a happy accident. There was a kind of a mess made with some of the bubbles when they printed it. But you could take this, and I kind of think that this kind of looks, if I look here, it kind of looks like the head of a dinosaur right here, with the eyes right here, and then the neck is almost reminds me of like a brontosaurus going into those grapes. So you just kind of outline kind of the shape that you're looking at, and I think that this right here, we could make this into the tail right here. And if we want to, we can add a little smile on his face. I'm actually gonna come up here, do that. So it kind of looks like a dinosaur. So it's kind of really interesting. If you look here, this right here to me almost looks like a gorilla. It's hard to do it upside down. Here's his eye, and then the mouth right here, and this part kind of reminded me of his ear. I don't know. Kind of looks like something, right? But you can have a ton of fun. We were inspired by this project. There's actually another art technique that we do at the studio called fumage, where we take a kerosene lantern that has the chimney, and we burn the wick, and then smoke comes out of the chimney, and we capture that smoke on a piece of white paper. And once that whole piece of paper is covered with the smoke, they kind of do the same thing that we just did. They look at all the patterns the smoke made on the paper and turn that into objects and forms, and use a little bit of watercolor to accent that. So we kind of use the fumage to inspire us to do something as simple as bubble painting. And this is a great idea to do with kids of all ages. You can go as young as 2, as long as you gotta teach them not to suck in the paint, you gotta blow. But it's good to get them to think outside the box, to be creative, to find something that they didn't see before, get them to really look at it for a long time, and then they'll start seeing things, and that gets synapses firing, and the brain gets them to think about things differently, and that will only help them do better in school. So art is awesome. Art helps you in every aspect of your life. So start young and send us pictures if you do it. We would love to see them, and enjoy your day. Hope you are staying happy and healthy, and we'll see you next time. Ciao. So when you are doing the bubbles, if you blow the bubbles and the bubbles do not stand long, you might want to add just a little bit more sugar in the solution. That will probably help them grow bigger and stay bigger. Also, when you are finished with all your solutions, because it's got sugar in it, I would store them in a refrigerator. They should store for a very long time, but just keep them in a cool place, and then they won't start to, with the sugar in there, I guess they might start to mold. And also, if you don't want to make the bubble solution and go through all the trouble of mixing the sugar and the soap and the water, you can use the store-bought bubble solution. That's a pretty good option right there. So lots of different options for you. So there's not one correct way of doing any of this. So enjoy. Hope you have fun doing the project.